So impractical.
Yeah.
It's so impractical. I've just been watching Game of Thrones.
You've just been watching Game of
you seen
Thrones?
it?
Of course I've seen it.
Say of course, but all my other friends haven't seen it.
Really? I love
I'm
it.
so happy that I found someone who's watched it.
What are you up to?
Bro, I've got 3 episodes left.
Oh, what?
Like
season 8?
Of season 8. And I started watching it. This will sound weird because of how crazy the show is, but like me and my mum have been watching it.
Yeah.
And there have been some scenes that are very uncomfortable.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
But overall, great. But I only started watching it 3 or 4 days before New Year's.
What? And you're up to that?
And I'm halfway through season 8.
Jesus. That's how it's a bit
crazy.
like that though.
Oh, dude, once I was hooked. Because I've tried to watch it
Yeah.
2 or 3 times. And I always get
The first season is a bit slow.
sort of get 3 or 4 episodes in. And I don't hate it, but I'm not locked in.
Yes.
And I sort of always just wane off it. And then, but I've always, because if I wrote down the stuff that I like, you'd be like, watch Game of Thrones. It's perfect for what you like.
It's probably one of the best shows ever. So.
Well, now I think it is. I think it might be my favourite show ever. But
Really?
I've loved it. But I knew in my mind.
Wait till you finish it.
I knew in my mind. Hold on, bro, we'll get there. I knew in my mind. I was like, I'm gonna like it. I just need to persist with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. And I said, we'll just make a promise to get through season 1. And then at the end of season 1, if we're like, this is shit, then we'll just leave it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not watching 8 shows, a season, of a show that I hate.
Yeah. It's a lot of your time.
Yeah.
Precious time.
Fuck, bro. I was locked in.
Did you get locked in at the
I
end?
was 5 episodes.
At the end of season 1, were you like, yep, this is the show?
Oh, straight away, yeah.
When he gets his head cut off?
Yeah. Genuinely.
Sorry, spoiler.
You didn't say who. There's no spoiler alert now in case I come up with conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've just... I've just watched the Battle of Winterfell.
You just watched the Battle of Winter... Oh, so that's the...
When the Night King and
the really
Whites
dark episode
come and they're attacking Winterfell, and it's it's the Unsullied, the Dothraki, and then all the Northerners.
Yeah.
And Jaime, he comes to fight.
He comes up.
He clutches up to come fight, and the dragons.
Love the dragon scenes. Do
And
you
then-
think that episode's a bit too dark? Like you can't see anything?
I've really been thinking about it, and because let me get into it. I was nervous going to season 8 because I remember when season 8 was premiering, it was just coming out week to week.
Yep.
And I wasn't watching Game of Thrones at all at that point.
Neither was I, yeah.
And even I was seeing the hatred.
Yeah.
It was so, the controversy of how many people were hating it was so loud.
It's the most I've ever seen on an end to a show. Yeah.
People were losing their shit. So even I saw it and I was like, fuck, what are they doing? I gotta watch this shit. Anyway, I was in preparation because I was because I'm so into it now. I was reading about the production. I was because I hadn't seen it yet, but I was where has it gone wrong?
Yeah.
And then I was reading the complaints, and one of them was the Battle of Winterfell, you can't see shit.
I didn't mind it though. Yeah.
The thing was, I watched that episode last night, and
Very fresh.
Yeah, very fresh. But it was at night time.
Exactly.
So
That's
it was
what I was saying.
at night. It was pitch black in the room. So there were some scenes where I was I'm not quite sure what's going on, but but by and large, I was fine with it. I
like that bit of the last season. It's just that you'll find out but.
From this point on. That's pretty much what everyone actually said. I've been so strict on avoiding spoilers and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I did try to do
it
the
sort
same.
of has said the first 3 of season 8 were not the best, but they're it's still sweet.
Yeah.
And then from episode 4, 5, 6, it's just
they just try classic Game of Thrones. They sort of try to break them all, do something different at the end,
something a bit shocking.
which I respect. I want to see different stuff and not just the same kind of happy fairy tale endings. But
to be fair, there hasn't been a single fairy tale ending in the entire show.
Exactly. So they continue with that trend, sort of. You'll see.
Yeah, because there's such a fine line between trying to do something shocking and then but then you're doing it, you don't want to just do it for the sake of it.
Yeah,
it has to tie into the story. If you're just being shocking for the sake of being shocking, it's just
you also do have to wrap it up for the fans that have spent a lot of time watching this show. You can't just be
done.
Fuck you.
Well, that was sort of what I was reading about. So I don't know whether you knew this, but HBO, who obviously are the company that produces it, they wanted it. They offered the writers, the two guys, I can't remember their names. I think like David and maybe they're both named David. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but they offered them like 2 more seasons.
Then they didn't want to do it.
And yeah, so they didn't want. So they said no, we don't want 2 more seasons. And then HBO were like, all right, well, you can make this season go to 10 episodes and take your time.
And they didn't do it.
And they were like, nah, fuck that.
Seems like they might have been a bit sick of it.
I think they were.
Wanted to do other things.
I think they were because I've really been doing a deep dive. Like just before they started season 8, those guys signed with Disney to make a Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like the new Star Wars trilogy.
Which never eventuated.
Which they never did. Oh, that would have been good if they did. I don't like the Star Wars new one.
But yeah, so that is what happened is that people suspect is they were they've been doing it for like 10 years, so they're a little bit over it. And then B, they just wanted to sort of get it out the way so they could go and do Star Wars.
I mean, fair enough. 10 years.
Not fair enough. Like, it's 10 years. Yeah, okay, but all right, at least wrap it up.
No, probably should have. They probably should have wrapped it up.
So I think the original plan, like I said, was 10 seasons.
Yeah, right.
And 10, like, I would have watched another 2 seasons of this
show.
show.
The first 6 seasons are based on the books.
Yeah,
the second
and that's the
2
other
aren't.
thing. At season 7, because that's like, didn't catch as much heat as season 8.
Yes.
You're right, they ran out of books. But season 7, they still had notes.
Yeah, from George R.R. Martin.
So George, the author, he had like notes on what the next book was going to be.
Right.
So they still had a little bit to go off.
He still hasn't written the next book.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But he's like, so he had notes and they were like, all right, just fill in the blanks, but you have like a rough outline.
Yeah, right.
Whereas season 8 was just like completely from scratch. They're like, fuck, how are we going to... And they had to think it up. So I was sort of reading all of that and I was like, it's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And then I read that they phased George Martin out of production.
Oh, they didn't even involve him in
No. So he was...
What was an error?
He was like heavily involved in the first like 6, and then they pretty much just like phased him out.
They probably needed him most then.
Oh, 100%.
They have content from the books.
100%. And whenever I see like an adaptation not include the author, I'm always like, oh, it's going to be shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like Percy Jackson movies.
You love Percy Jackson.
Yeah, I've been watching the Disney Plus show.
I don't even know what it is.
I've been watching the Disney Plus show because they're just making a new show of it.
Right.
So
should I watch it?
Yeah.
Will I not appreciate it because I didn't read it?
Oh, the books are better.
Yeah.
But the show's big. But they made 2 movies like years ago, but they were shit. And even the author hates them. Like he told everyone not to watch them. But the studio like brought the rights to make the movie, and then didn't include him at all in the production. Like didn't involve him whatsoever.
You can't do that.
Yeah, and then the movies were shit, and everyone was like, what? And then the show he's like heavily involved. Like he's like one of the writers for it and producers, I think.
Oh,
so
it's good.
It's been better than the movies. I've been liking it.
Yeah, right.
Me and one of the boys at work who were both just nerds for it. We've just been frothing it, just talking about it every week. But it's been pretty good. I read the books though. But yeah, back to Game of Thrones. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just nervous because I've been loving it so much.
Gotta watch it.
Who's your favourite character?
My favourite character? Well, I like Tyrion. Everyone likes Tyrion.
Everyone likes Tyrion.
My favourite character? I know, I really like Jaime as well.
I like Jaime.
Yeah,
he's grown on me. At the start, I was like, someone...
Bit of a grey character.
I was like, someone kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, no, the arc that he has is insane.
Yeah.
Like when he gets his hand cut off and then he has to become like a completely different person. Yeah.
Basically.
I really like how he goes back up to Winterfell to fight at the end there.
Yeah. Well, you know what I was saying?
What happens next kind of sucks, but
that's what I've
see.
heard. What I've heard. I don't know what happens, but I've heard they just butcher his arc basically.
They don't butcher it. They just go a different way. I don't know.
But you know what I was saying? I was saying this morning, and whether you agree or not, I was talking because Mum watched it with me last night, and I said I think perfect would have been he died in that battle. I would have been really happy if he died in the Battle of Winterfell, because
I wish you'd finished it. I
know, bro, but it's like I wish, because I was like, okay, he's gone on this full arc. He was such a douche.
Yeah,
like I hated him at the start. I was like, this pretentious fuck. I just want to headbutt him. And then he's done a full
arc.
Like
Prince Charming.
And he did literally look like Prince Charming.
Exactly like Prince Charming.
And then they obviously do his arc. He gets his hand cut off, and such and such. Him and Brienne become tight.
Yeah.
But then he's sort of like sitting on the fence about the whole thing. He's like, he's sort of on Cersei's side, but he's feeling conflicted about it. Like, he's like, I don't really like this. And he sort of is beginning to become aware of how fucked up Cersei is. Because I feel like he was sort of turning a blind eye before.
But he becomes aware, but then he sort of still ignores it, doesn't he?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. He sort of like looked a little bit conflicted about it.
Yeah.
And then obviously...
Yeah, he considers his own morality,
Yeah, he starts to actually view it.
Yeah.
And then he, obviously, the situation happens with the dead. And he's like, oh, we made a promise. And she's like, fuck that, I'm lying. And he was like, well, that's not chill. So he finally just goes, all right, fuck you, I'm going. Basically commits treason. Leaves King's Landing. Goes to Winterfell. Meets up with the Starks. They were like, all right, don't really fuck with you, but, you know, if you want to hang out with us, you can.
Yeah, literally what happens.
They're like, look, you're a fuckwit, but if you want to hang out, you can. So they sort
We're
of...
all going to die anyway, just chill here.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah.
So they sort of welcome him in, and then he's that scene at the fireplace where he's just chatting shit with everyone.
Yeah.
He knights Brienne, which is nice, and that was a really nice scene. And then he goes out to fight for Winterfell, and remember the fire
Comes full circle.
Yeah, and him and his brother were like, imagine like our dad's face seeing that we're both about to die, defending Winterfell. And then he goes out, and I was like, and what would have been the perfect send-off in my mind is if he died for someone else. So he didn't just die in a fight, like he sacrificed himself to save someone else. Like either Brienne probably, or maybe even Bran, because obviously he pushed Bran out the window.
Legs. Yeah.
Did more than break his legs.
True. He did.
Yes. But yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, right.
Because that would have been like, he died for something bigger than himself. He's come full circle. He died a hero.
Oh, can't wait to see your reaction at the end.
Oh, it makes me so angry the way you say that. And I've heard it was like, everything was like, he is the most... They were sort of saying he is top 2 most butchered.
No, I wouldn't say butcher. I still quite like how it ends for him.
You do?
I do. But
Who's
it's
the
just,
first person to say that?
it's not satisfying for his arc, how you're explaining it. But I say it makes a lot of sense, so yeah.
I thought the best arc in the show, because I sort of said this is what I was sort of saying is to my mum, as I said, everyone else, or most of them, just sort of become higher levels of what they were. Like Jon was good at the start, and then he became like great. Yeah. And Cersei was like bad, and she just became batshit crazy.
Horrible, yeah.
Yeah. So they sort of just evolve. Whereas I thought that the best full 360 was Theon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I thought his send off where he dies.
That was perfect.
Was perfect.
Yeah.
I was like, he has to die as soon as, because obviously he goes back to Winterfell and he says to Bran, he's like, I'll protect you. As soon as he said that, I was like, he's gonna die.
I love his performance when he becomes. Is it Reek?
Yeah, Reek.
His performance with the
Ramsay
actor that plays Ramsay is so good.
Oh man, I actually hated that.
Strikes fear into me every time. It's so good.
That's the thing is, and this will sound like I didn't hate it. It was really well done, but I hated that arc because I was just so disturbed. Like
exactly.
Yeah, I didn't hate it because it was poorly done.
Yeah.
It was just like it made me feel so uncomfortable. Yeah. I was like, I actually I don't want to see this. Like, it was too much for me.
Yeah. That's the idea.
It was perfect, though. Yeah. But I thought he had to die. If he survived, I would have been like, that's bullshit. He should have died.
There wasn't much left for him, so him to die was perfect.
No, it was perfect. And he was with Bran, and Bran sort of forgave him. He was like,
he says, you're a good man.
He's like, you're a good man. He's like, thank you. And Theon's like, starts crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he's done. He's come full circle. And he's finally, like, at peace with himself.
Yeah.
Which was sick. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just shitting myself now. I've got 3 episodes to go, and I know it's gonna be fucking shit.
You'll like bits of it.
Yeah.
So don't stress.
Okay. It's sort of, some people are like, it's not that bad, and then other people are just.
You'll just realise the point that everyone hates. Like you'll see it. You'll be like, oh, that's it.
Well, I sort of know vaguely, like I know that like for some, I don't know what happens with Jamie. But I know that whatever happens, people didn't like.
It's not with Jamie's not the one I'm talking about.
Well, I know that the other one's Daenerys.
What do you know?
I don't know. I just know that people don't like it.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
That's it. Like, I just know. Like, I don't know what happens, but I know that whatever happens, people fucking hate it. I'll message you after I watch it.
Yeah.
I'll probably finish it tonight, truthfully. I'll probably watch all 3 tonight.
Oh, fuck. Awesome.
I just sit down and just binge it.
Oh, you have to.
Oh, dude. It's sick. But yeah, I was just thinking about how extreme fan bases are weird.
Yeah, I try not to get too involved, like, in the...
With Reddit.
Basically, with Reddit.
Yeah, genuinely.
There's some funny shit on there, though.
It's wild.
Yeah,